Ranked Tennessee at the Pigskin Classic in Anaheim. Folks wondered how the Buffaloes would fare without star running back Eric Bieniemy, who sat out a one-game suspension. But his replacement, Mike Pritchard, certainly picked up the slack, rushing for 215 yards on 17 carries and touchdown runs of 55 and 78 yards. But Tennessee had its big gun, too. Quarterback Adam Kelly, who threw for 368 yards and 2 second-half TDs, one of which pulled the balls to within 31-24 of Colorado in the fourth. And then Tennessee running back Chucky Webb ran it in from 4 yards with 2:25 remaining. The Vols kicked the extra point and finished in a 31-31 tie with the Buffs. Sunday in the majors, the West leading Reds made it 3 in a row over East front-running Pittsburgh. Eric Davis and Joe Oliver hit 2-run doubles, and Mariano Duncan went deep as Cincy bested the Bucks 6-2. The Mets blew a chance to gain ground on the Pirates and remained 3 back in the East. Rookie Mike Hartley outdueled Frank Viola, and L.A. scored on a double steal as the Dodgers dumped New York 2-1. L.A. stayed 6.5 back of the Reds in the NL West. The Giants fell 7.5 behind the Reds. At the stick, Vaughn Hayes connected for a 3-run homer, and John Kruk added a 2-run blast as the Phillies took care of San Francisco 5-1. Elsewhere in the National League, Larry Walker's 3-run homer won it for Montreal. The Braves scored twice in the ninth to beat the Cubs, and Danny Darwin won his 9th straight for Houston. In the American League, the East leading Red Sox moved out to a 4-game lead over the Jays by blanking Toronto for the 3rd straight game. At the Skydome, Greg Harris and Jeff Gray combined on the 2-hitter, and Jody Reed's RBI single in the 8th was the game's lone run. Boston 1-0 winners. The White Sox fell to the Angels at Comiskey. Lance Parrish crashed a tie-breaking solo homer in the 7th, and Dante Bichette clouded a 2-run dinger in the 9th to lead California past Chicago 4-1. The A's were beaten by the Tigers, but still lead the West by 5 over Chicago. Bob Welch came up short in his bid for win number 22. Lou Whitaker and XA Tony Phillips had 2-run homers in Detroit's 7-3 win over West leading Oakland. Elsewhere in the American League, New York Steve Sachs had an RBI single in the 11th to win it for the Yanks. Cleveland knocked off the Orioles in Baltimore. Bo Jackson homered in his first game back from the DL. Bo is now connected for 4 homers in his last 4 at-bats. And the Rangers' Bobby Witt won his 10th.
Fall is here. I asked that because the college football season began this weekend. It was the inaugural Disneyland Pigskin Classic, hitting number 5 Colorado and number 8 Tennessee. Inaugural it was. A classic? I'm not so sure. You're about to see why. Let's head to the Big A in Anaheim and check out the highlights of this one. Second half action. The game is tied at 10 apiece, and the handoff to Mike Pritchard up the middle, and he's gone. 55 yards. Colorado leads it 17-10. Late in the third quarter, a nightmare for wide receiver Carl Pickens of Tennessee. Whoopsie daisy. 4th and 3 in Colorado territory. Pickens. Whoopsie daisy. But the Vols wouldn't die, trailing 24-10. The Buffs blitz, and they pay for it. Andy Kelly connects with Alvin Harper. Tennessee touchdown. It was 24-17 Colorado. After the Vols recovered a Colorado fumble on the ensuing kickoff, Kelly's pass deflected into the arms of Tim James and a costly turnover. Mid-4th quarter, the Buffs strike again. Darian Hagan to Mike Pritchard. Watch him go. 80 yards for the touchdown. And it was 31-17, and the game was over, right? After a Tennessee touchdown pass made it a 7-point game with 2.5 minutes left, Chuck Webb up over the middle, touchdown, 31-30 Colorado. Now a decision for Vols coach Johnny Majors. Does he go for 2 or 1? The win or the tie? He opts to go for the tie. The extra point is good. It's a 31-all ball game. 4th and 7 with 7 seconds left to go. The Vols on the 40 of Colorado, and Tennessee runs the ball. Chuck Webb taken down and out. Time runs out. The game ends in a 31-all tie. A good old-fashioned sister kisser to start the season. Andy Kelly's numbers, both school records, 33 for 55 for 368 yards. Chuck Webb had 131 yards on the ground. Darian Hagan, he completed just 5 of 19 passes for 68 yards and 3 INTs. And after the game, Coach Majors was asked about settling for the tie.
You know, the decision to go over 2 is always a great decision. People like to second guess that, and they'll make it a lot easier when they're not involved. But I can tell you this, unless you're going to, at that particular time, for a championship, a tie is a hell of a lot better than a loss, and the way our team fought back, and I'll stick to that a long, long time.
You know, that's not really my decision. It's all, you know, Coach Major's decisions, and we all respect that. And at the time, you know, we had a chance there at the end. We got the ball back, so it turned out, I think, to be the right decision.
And speaking of Collegiana, it's back. This and every